Hello VR students, I hope you're all doing well. As promised, we're about to do a video on getting your Unity projects inside of your Quest 2 and running. So as I mentioned in class, we were going to do this as a class example, and then I realized it would take the whole class and probably then some to just wait on Unity to load some stuff. So I'm going to edit out all of the waiting on Unity and just give you the parts that you need to get your assignments running in the headset. Okay, so with that said, let me resize my video window here with a sound effect. There we go. Good. All right. So to get started, first thing you'll probably want to do is go ahead and make sure you've got your Quest handy. Make sure you've got it hooked up to your PC. And if you're using one of the ones from the class, it's already in developer mode. If you're using one of your own headsets, you're going to need to set it to be in developer mode using the app on your phone. But go ahead and just preemptively have this guy turned on, ready, and plugged up to your PC. Okay. So next thing you need to do is we're going to need to create a new project. So if we do new project, we're given some options here. Just use 3D built-in render pipeline. It's going to be your lowest bar to entry at this point to get everything working. Next thing, project name. Enter something meaningful. Specifically, I'd prefer that you write something along the lines of your team number and your challenge and its number. So for you, say if you're on team 2, you'd say team_2_challenge1 for the first challenge. Okay, and then we click create project. And you might guess that this is the first instance of us waiting on Unity to do something. So I'm going to keep the video rolling during this. I'm going to edit it out in post, but yeah, I'm really curious how long this is actually going to take from start to finish to get all these tiny little steps done. Okay, so with that said, I'll see you in just a second. Okay, and we're back. So Unity is now loaded up. You should have something that looks kind of like this. So just give you an idea of the anatomy of Unity, how it's typically laid out, and you can change these arrangements, but this is the default and what you're probably going to see most often. This is your scene that you're composing. Over here on this side is your hierarchy of objects that you can put in your scene. So if you want to drag and drop, say, a tree into your scene, you'd drag it into this area. This side over here is what's called the inspector. When you click on an object in your hierarchy, it gives you all the properties of it. The things you're probably going to be most interested in looking at for like object placement and object sizing are these parameters here. There's position, there's rotation, and there's scale. And down here we have our assets. These are the things that are, pardon me, these are the things that are imported into your scene that you can use. Okay, so to get started, the very first thing we need to do is we need to set the build environment. So what we want to do is we want to go to File and Build Settings. When the Build Settings window comes up, you're probably by default, most of you are going to be set to Windows, Mac, Linux, whatever. You're going to want to click on Android. So click on Android, and if you've got your headset already hooked up, if you click the run device drop down here, you can select your headset and click that, and then do switch platform. And we have another instance of waiting, but this one's pretty quick, or not. Maybe we've got more. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit longer, but not too much longer. Okay, so we've got our build platform set. Next thing we're going to want to do is go up here to Window and go down to Package Manager. Okay, Package Manager, actually usually like to keep this as a separate window, but you can set it up however you want. So in Package Manager, what you're going to want to do is right here where it says Packages, click this and go to Unity Registry. And this will show you all the packages that are native to Unity that you can import. And up here in the search box, you're going to want to click, and you're going to want to type OpenXR. And two packages are going to come up. There's the OpenXR plugin and the Unity OpenXR meta. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this and we're going to hit install. And again, this might take a little while because it's probably going to download this. Okay, so once that finishes installing the OpenXR plugin, you're going to get this dialog. Go ahead and click yes, and it is going to close your editor and restart it, which of course takes more time. So let's click yes, and wait a second. Okay, now Unity is restarting, and it should open back up to your project right where you left off. Okay, back where we started. Okay, one more thing we want to do. We're going to want to search again for OpenXR, and this time go to Unity OpenXR Meta. So click this guy and install. Okay, so once that's installed, a window is probably already opened up in the background, the project settings. If that window didn't open up for you, let me show you how you can get to it. So we're going to have to go to project settings next, and we go to edit and project settings down here. When we select that, we're going to want to go to this place right here, XR plugin management, and make sure that you're on the Android tab because it's got little windows here, you know. So go to the Android tab and don't select Oculus. You're going to be tempted to select Oculus. Don't select Oculus. Select OpenXR, and then it's going to give you this option below it, Meta Quest Feature Group. Be sure to select that. Okay, cool. But something nifty has happened here. Well, nifty is a loose term. Notice it's got a little, looks like a little warning here. Click it. If you click that, you're going to get these things here. Okay. So this used to not exist, and I'm so glad this exists now. It's your project validation to make sure that all the settings are compatible for whatever development environment you're trying to build for. Some of these can be ignored. The yellow ones can usually be ignored. The red ones, you got to do something about them. Fortunately, it has a button that says fix. So on this one right here where it says only ARM64 or x86, x64 is supported, just go ahead and click that fix button. And look, it went away. It's fixed. A lot of these others we can ignore, but a lot of times if you hit fix all, it'll take care of at least some of them. Okay, and when it does that, we got to wait a little bit more, but that's okay because it's fixing stuff for us. We can move on from here. So now that we've got all of the OpenXR stuff and all the meta stuff installed and enabled, we can start doing some stuff. So, hi, this is Dr. Jones from the future. I made a grave mistake, and I'm coming back in time in video editing to fix it. I left out a setting. So what we need to do to fix this thing that's going to vastly impact your future by making you click a button that you weren't expecting to click is we're going to have to set up an interaction profile. It's sort of kind of quasi-required. You're not going to use that for this challenge. For your following challenge, yeah, you're going to need to use it, but you're not required to use it for this one. But the settings are kind of like expecting you to have that configured. So what we need to do is go to Edit, and then go down to Project Settings again. You got it? Good. Okay. Now we go over here to OpenXR, and here we go. Okay. Enabled interaction profiles. What you're going to want to do is, well, first it says the list is empty right there. It doesn't need to be empty. It needs at least one thing in it. So what we can do is we can go over here and click this little plus sign, and we can select the MetaQuest touch controllers. You can also select the MetaQuest Touch Plus controllers if you're using those. You can even select it for the Oculus Touch, which is effectively the same thing, touch controllers. Okay, and after you do that, you can click Exit and continue with the rest of this video. So what you're going to want to do is come over here to your hierarchy. And I recommend, when you start making your scenes, to make an empty game object and just call it scene. Now you can populate scene with any of the models that you download from the Unity Asset Store or elsewhere. For our simple scenario, let's just go ahead and put a cube in here. And you can see a preview of what the camera is going to be seeing down here. Okay, but now the main camera isn't going to work the way you expect it to. So what you're going to want to do is take your mouse over here, right click, and go down to the XR option. When that menu pops out, click Convert Main Camera to XR Rig. And there you go. Notice main camera has now disappeared. It's been replaced by XR Rig. And a new main camera has been put down here. This is going to enable your headset to be stereoscopic and head tracked and the whole 9 yards. So that camera rig does a lot of stuff for you. And now the next thing we do is we build and run. Oh wait, we don't. There's a catch. I almost forgot about this. It's easy to forget. There's one more setting in project settings that we need to hit. And that one is going to be here in player. So if you click player and you scroll down, you're going to find something that says minimum API level. By default, this is set to level 22. This is insufficient for building for the MetaQuest 2. You're going to want to set this to something higher. 24 is the minimum that's compatible right now, so let's just use that and continue with our example and close that out. Now we can build and run. Okay, so go up to File, go down to Build and Run, and it's going to ask you where you want to save that file. So I like making a folder and just calling it Build. And in there, we can name it whatever we want. Like, we'll say Team 1, Challenge 1, T1, C1, and click Save. And it's going to ask you to save your scene. Okay, and now your Unity environment's compiling. That APK that we just saved, that we named T1_C1 for Team 1, Challenge 1, that's going to be the file that you're going to want to share on Discord for the rest of the class to look at. And you don't have to worry about loading this directly on the headset. The Unity will take care of copying that to the headset for you. So once everything finishes compiling, you should be able to put on your headset and see your virtual environment running. Okay, so now that the compiling process has finished, you can take your headset and you can put it on, and you should see your beautiful, wonderful environment. Okay, so that's the basics of getting started. That's the minimum you're going to need for getting your Challenge 1 working. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Reach out on the class Discord, Canvas, or whatever mechanism you feel most comfortable contacting me. And most importantly, if you're having trouble, post it on the Discord. Now here's why. Because chances are, if you're having trouble with something, someone else is also having trouble with that thing. And they might not be as awesome as you, and they might be afraid to ask. And so what you're going to do is you're going to play the cool role of the person who asks the question. And by asking it, you get an answer that someone else in the class might volunteer because they've already been through it, or that I volunteer because I've been through this before. And now everybody in the class gets the answer, and they all get to see, and learn from, your questions. Okay, if you have anything else, let me know, and I hope you all have a great Challenge 1. Looking forward to seeing your demos. Take care.